Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me in my shop. Today is July 11th, and I'm about to start on this fantastic radio here. This is a Hallicrafters. I think it's called a TW2000, Trans World 2000. There she is. Okay. So the operating condition of this radio is unknown because the owners never plugged it in to find out, and that's kind of my job. Plug it in and see what happens. Of course, I have better ways of plugging it in than just sticking it into an outlet. Let's take a look in the back. Okay, there's the cord. In pretty good shape, feels pretty flexible. Taped up right there. The loop antenna is, this portable antenna is plugged in right now. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to unplug this antenna, and there's a bigger, better loop just inside here. Well, you know what? They might actually be identical. I'll bet you they're probably identical, in fact. But we're going to use the loop that's inside the radio. Something I should say, anytime one of these comes on my bench, is that these radios use low voltage tubes, 1 volt or 1.5 volt tubes. They're very, very sensitive to anything being done wrong. So do something wrong with one of these guys and you can burn out all the tubes simultaneously and you won't even know it happened. And how do I know this? Because I, of course, have done that. So I'm not anxious to pull this out of the cabinet here and take a look at it, but so the antenna's come loose off its base here. It's been spun around a couple times too. Why is it so loose? Well, I can't see, but there's almost certainly some kind of locking nut or something has come loose underneath. Interestingly enough, there's a hole in the cabinet where you see me sticking my finger that looks straight up to the bottom of this antenna. Sometimes that's a screwdriver hole. I don't know. This is liable to fall into the radio. Probably would cause a problem. That one. Okay. These radios come with gigantic antennas. Oop. Right. We're gonna have to fix that, so I'm gonna extend this up. But this is like a 6-foot long antenna when it's all the way out. So I'm plugging the radio into this little box here. I can control the amount of power coming through this box by using some dim bulbs in the back here. So we're going to start the radio up. Well, that's kind of interesting. And once the antenna's up, you can't open this. Okay, putting the antenna up is really not much value, so let's take a look at the situation here. So off and on and volumes on this side, band selector is here, and the tuning is here. So we have no power, so on, off, tuning, band selector. So there's a little red marker which will move up and down as you switch bands. we want it on this bottom band to start with, right here where it is now. That's the broadcast band. These radios are instant on. As soon as you turn them on, the heaters are hot, and the tubes do not have cathodes in them, so almost instantly operate. It's also a very low power drain, so even though I have a light bulb in here to restrict power, it may not restrict it much. We can see ultimately what voltage is arriving here, 109. Let's go a little higher here. So as soon as I turn on the radio, this supply voltage will drop because the light bulb's in the circuit in series. So some of the voltage will be lost, but we'll have to see how much. Okay, and if there's a real problem in the radio, this light will come on fully bright, and I will turn it off right away. Here we go. Okay, so we didn't see the light come on at all. It's a very low power drain. This dropped a wee bit. So, okay. There we are. So the stronger stations are down in this area. A little hummy. Oh, something's going on with the pointers getting stuck here. Can't go past this point. Okay, it's not receiving anything. So it could be a dirty band switch. So I'll just turn this down a bit, give this a wiggle. No, I'm going to switch bands with the volume up and listen. Oh, well, that sounds pretty good. That was a short wave band up at the top here. The broadcast band not coming through. Well, it had the other antenna plugged in. I wonder if that was a reason. There was a reason for that. Something's wrong with this antenna. This is broken. You can see the wires are connected to the outside terminals. The inside terminal is not connected to anything. It's a fake. It's a fake. A little click there. Okay, let's spin this around again. So we're on the other antenna now. Come down the strong area. Nothing at all. Now I have another trick I can pull here, where I can boost the reception here. I'm going to have to run and throw a switch the other end of my house. This will have a strong AM radio signal on it. Sure, actually it'll have everything on it. Let's just put it near the antenna like that. That didn't do a thing. No. Okay, so I'm going to just run down and turn on the antenna here. Okay, so there's now a pretty strong signal on this loop here. All the AM stations, all the short wave, basically from 100 kilohertz up to 30 megahertz. So I'm laying it up against the antenna. I doubt it's having. I think we got ourselves a no-go on the broadcast band. Well, you know what? With these radios, when you're tuning, it's very easy to bump the volume while you're tuning. Yeah. Well, we're getting nowhere with that. Let's transfer the loop onto the whip antenna, just like that. And we'll check out the short wave bands here. Down. Okay, so now we're on, where are we? None of these have got a red indication. Something slipping in here. Okay, so 11 megahertz. We're on this band here from 11 to 12. It's possible to pick stuff up. This isn't the best. I'm going to do a better connection here. That didn't peak up very good. I should jump right up. I think there's a good chance the radio's working. There's nothing to pick up. I'm gonna get stuck down here again. Okay, let's go another. Okay, this is from 3 to 8 megahertz. There's bound to be nothing there. Wrong time of day here. Unless by some wild chance we can get 60, 70 reading here. Doesn't look like it. And might pick up some stuff up in here, some ham radio stuff. Nope. Okay, let's just keep going. Another band. Wrong way. Let's go up. Ooh, what's going on here? Does not feel right at all. Well, it should just keep going up. I don't know what's happening here. This fell off earlier, now I can't get it off. What's going on there? How'd that happen? This is not supposed to be able to do that. Something very funny going on with the switch. Well, that's really kind of unfortunate in a way. She's got to come out. She's got to come out. We got to come out and take a look at what's going on. What's going on with this band switch, and what's going on with the broadcast band, that we're not picking up anything at all. Which is a little odd. And how come the tuning stops here? What's going on there? And what else can I think of? Some more stuff. Okay, lots to do already. Okay, we're going to want to take this guy out of this cabinet. I'm going to take this antenna right out of here. 3 square head screws to loosen off here. So I'll loosen them a little bit here. But I wouldn't want to take them out with the radio tip sideways like this. Good. They're all loose. Just carry on. I'll get this out of the cabinet. Okay, got the 3 screws out. We want to release this wire here. Ooh, that was easy. That's for the antenna. And trying to remember taking one of these out. I think it goes out the front. I think it goes out the front. Some more small screws, if I remember right. Seem to be loose at all. Right, there's 2 large front bolts there. Doing that, just looking around in the radio, I see there's a tube without a tube shield on it. Why would that be? Why would there be a tube in there without its tube shield? Somebody's been in here before. That's probably what that means. Okay, I think we're ready to go out the front. Now, okay. There we go. Somewhere. Okay. How come it won't come right out? Okay. Now we're going to take a look, find out, or add to the story here of what's going on with this radio. Slide it right back. So there's just a ton of, this is either corrosion product or it's been sprayed with something to prevent it from corroding. I'm not sure which it is. Usually the spray stuff has kind of got a green color, but I think this is probably unwise to keep this on my fingers because it's going to end up in my mouth. Okay, let's just take a look at this. This is the battery plug if you're going to operate it on batteries. Just put that off to the side. You need a 95 volt battery or 90 volt battery or two 45 volt batteries to make this work. The antenna certainly seems to be intact. When I switched the antenna from one to the other, it didn't make any difference on the broadcast band. One of the ways you can tell a good radio is the number of sections in the tuning capacitor. If there's 2, meh. If there's 3, woohoo! You've got an extra good radio. There was something stopping the pointer from traveling all the way. Look at this malarkey up here. So somebody's tried to freeze the pointer in, and they've got the string shoved in here incorrectly in the string grip. So no reason to think the pointer's in the right place, although I guess the tape is kind of marking it a bit. So don't have to worry about that right now. See anything else remarkable here with the radio. Whoops, let's do that. These terminals here, which I assume are antenna terminals. Can't remember what these are for. Maybe a dipole, external dipole antenna. That's probably what they're for. Or even a long wire, of course. Okay, I'm just looking everything over as closely as I can, just giving myself some time to discover things. Now, why is it you couldn't tune this radio all the way that way? What's happened right here? Oh, the capacitor's closed. So the pointer's terribly off in the wrong spot here. I mean, it should be like way down here somewhere. What is all this? This looks like original stuff, but even that doesn't look. I don't know. So there we are down at the end now. So that's all it is, a pointer in the wrong spot on the string and the capacitor reaching the end of its run. Okay, that's one problem down. Now, what about the antenna issue is in the cabinet, not here. So we won't deal with that. The wonky band switch. Okay, so we're going to tip this up on its side. We're going to tip it up this way. Take a look underneath. So first I'm looking for a couple things. One is anybody done anything to this? And the other one is there anything obviously wrong? Obviously wrong things would be burned resistors. Something funny on this big resistor here. Big resistors get hot. Big resistors are more likely to have burned out. So coil here, and the wires coming out of it, they look thinner than hair right here, and there's one up in here. Easily be knocked off without even knowing you've done it. But I don't think they're knocked off. I'm just sort of spotting things I need to be careful about too. This radio has one of these guys in it. Hopefully it's okay. This is inside this little square is a couple of capacitors, a resistor, a couple of other, who knows what's in there. And the idea is it just simplifies building the radio from the manufacturer's point of view. He could buy the 6 or 7 discrete parts and put them in, or you can buy this thing. Well, there's nothing here leaping out at me saying, hey man, we're in bad shape. Now, this is the band change, which didn't seem right. So let's operate the band change here. So you can see I'm turning the control and nothing is happening. I'm guessing this is rotating right on the shaft here, even though it's got a flat spot. It has this spring arrangement in it. So it'll kind of grip onto the flat side down here, but I think it's just rotating right around it. You can even see a skid mark on the metal here. Way to deal with that. Make this tumbler turn easier. Is it tough to turn? The answer would be yes. Put a big wrench on that. Get a feel for it here. Because with this knob slipping, it can't feel what's going on. Here. Keep going around those, it'll lock at some point. So it seems to be just fine. I think I've reached a locking point now. Too hard with it. Looks like we hit the end of the road there. So the fact that we couldn't dial in these upper bands is just because the knob is rotating on the shaft and it's unable to turn the band switch. The band switch is restricted in its motion by a spring-loaded, I don't know what you call these things, pawl? Is this called a pawl? A little rotating piece that locks in all these little bumps here. I just don't think that's going to be likely to. That's all I'm working against. So I'm just checking to make sure the wheel is rotating, which it is. So I think there is a certain amount of toughness in turning this, and this thing has to overcome it. It's not cracked. So, and this spring, I mean, it's restricted in here. I mean, it can't open up more. If I remember right, there's a big knob and a small knob, and you can't actually swap them, can you? I gotta get this one off. Yeah, because this is a one knob, and this is a two-part knob up here, so you cannot swap them. Yeah, it's just unbelievably loose. So I have 2 more of these radios at my house right now. Well, you can imagine this spring getting collapsed and benefiting from getting uncollapsed. You can get it out. Yeah, I don't know if I can get that out of there. The spring itself is holding itself in, you know. Not going to come out easy. Okay, offhand, don't know what to do about that. Don't know exactly what has gone wrong. This looks perfectly the way it should look. There's nothing missing here. How can this be so loose? Like it's way off. Well, maybe I'll just shove another shim in here when the time comes. Jam this on. For now, we'll leave it off. Okay, so that means the band switch will go all the way. That also may mean the band switch was never on the broadcast band. Why am I saying that? Because this, oh no, this is hooked up to this, so you can't. This can't get out of alignment with the selector here, the indicator. Oh yeah, the pointer's not gonna. It's a manual pointer at the moment. Just want to get away from those. So this would be the broadcast band here. The contacts are being made up above. We can't see the actual contacts. I think we need to play it again on the broadcast band. We still have this loop antenna connected. It's very simple. It's just 2 wires coming up. It looks like a single loop. Excuse me. I'm not sure what material this is. It's some kind of a rod. Okay, let's operate again. So this time antenna is going to be connected. We could use my booster antenna right on here. But for now, I don't want to do that. What we'll do is just make an indirect connection here. Like that. Okay. And that's right on the coil. Okay, volume is switch is off, volume's down, plug not in. Switch is off, power's on. There we go, switching on. What do we need to look at when we do this? We need to look at that light bulb. Everything is good. Oh, that sounds like it's operating. Okay, we'll tune it. That's fine. Again, it's tricky to tune these radios without turning the volume up and down. Okay, let's look at the capacitor. I'm always looking at the pointer. Capacitor is closed. It's just about impossible to not bump the volume. Here he comes. Oh. Okay, we got a station. You can see how weak the radio actually is. Uh-oh. He's going for the microphone again. No. Come on, don't go up there and do that. Don't like that. Come on over here. Over here. You know what? I got something for you. I got something for you. Here it is. I got this. Here it is. Come on, man. Come on. I don't want to get him too excited. Over this way. Over this way. Come on. I grab him, but he's just too big now to do that kind of thing. Come on, here we go. Ready? Look. Wait. Okay. Got it. Where are you going? Where's he going? Ready? Here we go. And that's the end of him. If I can, I'm going to close the door. Okay. Back to the radio, which is working. Very good. Now we don't know where we're tuned, but let's see if we can get a better station here. Which way are we going? Okay. Very, very weak. This is 680, I'm pretty sure. Skyrider. Really, eh? Put that on your door. Hang that on your door, I think, or something like that. The Skyrider. Looks like an adjustment here. Probably a tuning adjustment there. Wonder what's in here. It's not receiving very well at all. I mean, any decent radio would be producing a whopper signal here. When I'm doing this kind of stuff, there's a strong signal in here. Hey, wait a minute. We're still picking up. Oh. My booster not that powerful?
Showers and thunderstorms for Saturday and Sunday, daytime high 60s, and we have the chance of showers and thunderstorms.
Okay. What do we do about this now? So the good news is the radio operates probably entirely on all bands, probably, but it's very weak. The weakness could be due to a defective part or a weak part back here. It also could be due to just alignment problems and issues. It could also be due to a weak tube. This is the tube that doesn't have a shield on it. Another one back here without a shield, but I don't think this one needs a shield back here. So what we should do is test the vacuum tubes and make sure that they're strong. Maybe we'll find something right there that explains why it's a little bit weak. And in the back here, I wouldn't rush in here and start changing stuff. It does have some somewhat unreliable capacitors, these brownish ones here. It's got a big molded capacitor here. You know, I think probably the next thing to do is do the alignment on it and just see if that doesn't bring it right back to life. And you know, here's a fairly large capacitor. This is probably a filter capacitor, 100 microfarads. You could replace that. Yeah, I think there is a bit of a hum in it. Not a lot of work. I wouldn't go in here and start changing all. No. So I think that's the order of business here. So the good news is the radio does operate. It's just a little weak, and I can probably correct that. That's it for today. Today's another day to be outside, not to be in here. So thanks a lot for watching, and tomorrow we'll do some alignment work on it.